I recently returned from my first Princess cruise. This is my fourth cruise line. I've been on Carnival, Margaritaville at Sea, Virgin Voyages, and of course now Princess. And I was very much impressed. All great cruise lines, but this one had a lot of great things about it, and some things that wasn't for me. I firmly believe, after all these four cruises, that it is a cruise line for each and every person. If you went on one cruise line, didn't like it, it's because you went on the wrong cruise line. They each have their own atmosphere, so I'm going through what I thought about Princess cruises. And that should help to figure out if it's right for you. As always, I'm going through the embarkation process and disembarkation process first, so let's get that started. Princess has an app that you can use to check in, just like most cruise lines. You pull up the app, make sure to get all your stuff submitted, then it'll give you some kind of status. Whether you're green status, which means you completed everything you need to go. You have your medallion shipped to you, which is what they use instead of a cruise card. They have a blue lane, which it means you have something missing, whether you have medallion shipped to the terminal instead of to your house, whether you're missing some documentation. There's something you're missing, so you need to go online and take care of that. Personally, I was in the blue lane because I had my medallion shipped to the cruise port. And as soon as we were let into the cruise terminal part, it was very smooth. I was one of the first ones in line. I was a little excited for this cruise, obviously. As soon as it opened up, I went to the blue lane, told them my name, they got my medallion pretty quickly, and I was on my way to the ship. I was elite status on this cruise, so I got some additional perks there. Prior to Embarkation and Disembarkation, exclusive events, a free minibar set up in my room, just to name a few things. But one of the added benefits was to have an exclusive waiting area, exclusive lounge, while you wait to be let on the ship. Well, when I first showed up for that, but didn't have a lounge area. It was my first time being elite, so I wasn't sure if this was right or not, that there was not an actual lounge area. But then I talked to some other elite members who were waiting around. They were told to wait basically next to the entrance door to the ship, and they were like, yeah, this is not the elite lounge. We don't know what's going on with that. But we were still the first ones let on the ship, which was very nice. So of course, we got on the ship, we scanned in. That process was very smooth. Disembarkation, very similar. Especially with nowadays, they have your passport already on file, you have your face on file. You basically just walk through customs when you get off the ship because the machine scans your face, you get given a thumbs up, and you're on your way. Princess is known for their exceptional service, and one thing I did notice is they had it to where if you put your bags out, there's an option on your luggage guide and your disembarkation instructions that if you wanted to have your bag taken from the ship and put on the plane for you to your final destination, they could do that. I thought it was nice. I didn't use it personally. We drove to Florida, so we had them pick up our bags for us and had it waiting at customs. But it was a very smooth process. But be sure to look at that disembarkation guide that they give you because they offer a lot more things than other cruise lines. So I give them a thumbs up for that. Next, I'm going over the crowd and the vibe. Princess Cruise Lines is thought to be more of a upscale kind of cruise line, seen as more older people on the ship, and I gotta tell you, it was very upscale, very beautiful. Out of all the ships I've been on, this is by far the best looking. It is an older, more relaxed crowd. You are going to see a lot more people in wheelchairs and canes and whatnot, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily an old person cruise. It's more of a relaxed feel. So if you're looking to party 24/7, you're really not going to find that. You're going to find more of a jazzy music playing, some upbeat but kind of chill songs playing at the same time. But no, this cruise line is a lot more relaxing than Carnival cruises. So if you're expecting to hit the nightclub every night, this is really not going to be the cruise for you. If you don't mind a good jazz bar, they have that every single night. But don't get me wrong, entertainment here is not lacking by any means. It's just a different type of entertainment. So the first type of entertainment I'm going to go over is the game shows. And you have to remember that Princess Cruise Line is owned by Carnival Corporation, so there's going to be a lot of similarities, but again, a lot of differences. One of the similar things, of course, you're going to have a typical comedy show, which was amazing, by the way. They have great comedians on there. Deal No Deal, same thing as on Carnival. It's played the same way. Love and Marriage show, they have it as well on Princess, but it's a little bit of a twist on there. I'm not sure it's because of the cruise director or if it's just how Princess does the Love and Marriage show in general. By the way, the cruise director on the Princess ship was probably one of the best ones I've ever seen on any cruise line. Just saying. The way they did it on this ship is they actually had a sign-up sheet. So it wasn't a competition like Carnival had to get up there. But it was a sign-up sheet, and from that sign-up sheet, they picked the youngest, the oldest, and someone mid-range. The way they asked the questions varied. With Princess, the noise canceling headphones on so they couldn't hear a single thing that was going on. And the cruise director would then ask the males the questions one by one. So the crowd got to hear the answers the entire time. It was hilarious. And of course, the women were sitting there not hearing things, some people laughing or pointing or something like that. So you can see the confused look on the faces like, what did my husband just say? We have no clue. He's probably embarrassing all of us. So it was a lot of fun. Then, after those questions were asked, everyone took the noise canceling headphones off. Then they asked the spouses the exact same question. And this made for some hilarious responses. And if the responses match, you get a point. Then the roles were reversed. So the other person who didn't have the headphones on had to put it on the next time. And now the other spouse was asked a different set of questions. It was a lot of fun. They also had a yes-no game show, which is very easy to understand, very quick game. Rules are simple. You can't say yes or no in any language, any form, fashion. You can't nod, yes, no. But you must answer the question quick as possible. And you can't get their same response 3 times. So it's asking things like, did you enjoy the ship? And ranging to much more in-depth questions as it goes along. If you're able to answer every question, not say yes or no the entire time, as soon as that timer runs out, you win. If you don't, you lose. Very simple, lots of fun. I loved the show. What really excelled when it comes to the show is the production shows. These, the highlight of the cruise. I can't stress how much I love these and how much effort were put into these shows. These videos I have up screen do not do these production shows justice of how well they are done. The stage will literally transform in front of your eyes. The level of detail on these is crazy. People will be strapped to things doing flips, flying across the stage. The stage literally transforming, coming down from the ceiling, coming up from the ground. It is breathtaking. I don't know how they do it. By far the best shows at sea. One was like a virtual reality type game show where the person was actually in a game and had to progress through the levels. And of course, he's over there doing his thing. The way they have the screen curtain is see-through, but there's a projector on there, so it looks like he's actually swiping things and moving things at the same time, while there's a bunch of stuff moving in the background, different people, things dropping down from the ceiling. It's amazing. You have to see it. So realistic, you actually feel the wind when it looks windy in there. It's no expense is spared on these shows. You have to see them. Even with more of their Broadway type shows, those are very in-depth. Again, the entire stage will change for these shows. And one thing you will notice about a lot of shows in general is you have your main actors being people you're supposed to be focusing on during the show. And you will notice that, hey, the people in the background are more like dancing backgrounds. They don't have very major roles. But with Princess, everybody has a very special role. And every person is on stage, whether they're back in the corner, and performs to the best of their ability, which makes the show that much better. Yes, you can watch the main act, people who're supposed to be focusing on the foreground, but actually like to walk people in the background. Because you have your main storyline, then you have people forming in the background, and if you actually watch them, there's another storyline unfolding, and they put 100% effort as if you were watching them specifically. I didn't think that took away from the show. It wasn't distracting. It was more like Easter eggs in a movie. You could enjoy the show and not pay attention to the background, not focus on anyone back there. But if you just watch some of those background performers and what they do, there's a bunch of little comedic skits and a whole other side plot going on through the entire stage. I love it. Best show I've seen at sea. And my wife will probably be upset with me if I don't mention rock opera, which to me sounded weird. Opera with the rock mix to it. And I didn't really want to see the show. My wife did. I went because she wanted to go to. And I do not regret going. It was breathtaking. By far, my favorite thing about the Princess Cruises is their show. So you have to go see them. And make sure you make 2 of them every single night. Next, the parties. As I said, this is more of a relaxed cruise. And I actually went on New Year's. So we had the New Year's party on deck. So that was a lot of fun. The most energy you had in the parties was from this. Because they don't have a dedicated nightclub on the ship. They do have a jazz bar, which people dance, have a little fun too, but not a dedicated nightclub, at least on the Princess Sky. They do on some of the other ships, but on this one, they do change one of the lounges into a nightclub some nights, but that night we didn't happen to make it. So this is more of a cover band singing, trying to hype you up, rather than a nightclub feel. If you're looking for a nightclub feel, definitely check out Carnival, Virgin Voyages, if you're looking to take that party to the next level. The casinos, I'm not a big casino person, but they do have your normal slot machines, card games, etc. They do have it there. As far as the kids' activities go, I didn't take my kids on this cruise, so I can't speak personally about how involved they were. But just from what I've seen of kids on board, they're more of your older teenager age of children. You do have activities for kids like 6 months and up, just like Carnival, but those are more dedicated into the kids clubs areas. You don't have ship-wide events like Carnival does for the kids. So make of that what you will. Next, I'm talking about the Ocean Now app. So it's kind of hard for me to talk about the app for this cruise because I went on the cruise to where they had a brand new app released the day before the cruise. So that means it was very buggy. They had some issues with it. Depending on what I wanted to do on the ship was which app I would use. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm going to save a good review for that for my next cruise because obviously they were having issues. But what's about the Ocean Now delivery service? If you have an all-inclusive package, because you're the Press or Premier, this was included, but if you don't, it's a $15 charge to get this enabled. But this is basically on the app. Since it tracks your location, I could order food or a drink on the app and it will be delivered to me anywhere on the ship. Sounds great in theory, but in practice, there's a few restrictions on it. There's certain areas of the ship where you cannot order this. Like in the theater, they won't let you order it because they don't want people walking into the theater mid-show trying to find one person in the crowd for their drink. So I get it, but it's not the big solution you're thinking for. And what really killed it for me was not that, because you could pretty much order it anywhere else on the ship. But it was the fact that when you order something, it took about an hour to get to you. At first, I thought it was a fluke. They were busy. We just got on the ship. Maybe that's what's going on. Staff are still cleaning up from the last cruise. The second day, we actually went to the sanctuary, ordered a drink. It still didn't get us until about 35 minutes. So we asked the staff at the sanctuary if they would have an idea of how long it usually takes. And they said, yeah, that takes about an hour. Tell me what your drink order is and I'll get you a drink here in less than 10 minutes. And that's what they did. So we just asked them when we were at the sanctuary for that drink. So I appreciate their honesty and they took care of us. So yeah, the sanctuary is a great place to check out. While I'm on that topic, this is an exclusive adults only area, which is very private, quiet. And you can reserve a seat or a cabana here, either for the day, half day, or even for the entire cruise. But to get a reservation here, you have to be there on the ship almost immediately. I was one of the first persons on the ship. We walked around the ship about 20 minutes before making our way up to the sanctuary to get a reservation, and we barely got a spot. We had basically a choice of 2 times to go to the sanctuary. So if this interests you, be sure to get there quickly. My wife and I enjoyed it. It was very relaxing. She read a book. I sat down, relaxed, just enjoyed the view, the quietness. You're at front of the ship, so the view of the ocean is gorgeous. And it even has your own private hot tub area, separate from the rest of the ship. So that was nice as well. And there's a handful of people there. All their job was to wait on people at the sanctuary. So you get a snack while you're there, get some drinks while you're there. Extremely convenient. Elsewhere on the ship, there was plenty of more hot tubs. This is more of a relaxing cruise, so they know everybody wants a hot tub. So there was plenty to go around, but they were always full at the same time. The most hot tubs I've ever seen on these ship, but yet they were almost always full. That's why I spent a lot of time with the thermal suite, because I did get spa passes there, because they have some heated chairs in there, some saunas, and a big old hot tub. There's a few relaxing things mixed in there, and it was very relaxing. I spent a lot of time in there as well. When it comes to the pools, you had adult only area in the middle of the ship, which is the pool and the bar. Back of the ship, you had a pool that was adults only by day, and towards the evening, it's everyone included. In between those two, you had a pool that was for everybody. And that's where your movie Under the Stars was, a lot of the live entertainment, things like that. The package I had unlimited photos. And I was super excited about this because I usually pay about $200 worth of photos on a cruise. And in fact, this one had unlimited digital copies of it. I was super excited. And I go on Carnival cruises a lot. So them being owned by Carnival, I think, hey man, Princess should be a step up. So their photos should be a step up. So what could go wrong? Well, I found their photo department to be very lacking. Yes, we got limited photos, but we had maybe 4 that we liked in the day because these photos that they took was more headshot photos rather than full body or something you actually put on the wall for memories. It was just basically like chest up, really. So a lot of the props they had were cropped out where you saw half of a prop. And the photos that we did end up getting that we liked were ones that we posed ourselves. Say, hey, we're going to do this pose. You just tell me to move slightly one way or the other that I need to look better. But we chose our own poses, and those are the ones that we actually liked. So that was disappointing. But it was nice not being pressured to take photos, but it seemed like the photo people really didn't care and were really enthused about taking photos. So a little disappointed in that part. All right, now for the food. The food was delicious. However, it was a different kind of food than Carnival. Carnival had a lot more of that filling, feel-good, fatty food, hearty type of meal. Versus Princess is more of that Mediterranean, lighter type of food. Delicious, but maybe not as filling. Or should I say it's a lot healthier. Which is not a bad thing, it's just it's a different type of food. Princess has nighttime dining, so in the main dining rooms, you could choose any time that you want to eat in advance. They're all the same menu. The decoration is just different. And they have a lot slower speed of service. Again, it's supposed to be more of a relaxing cruise to actually enjoy your food. And Carnival can get in and out under an hour easily. Here, your dinner is usually more like an hour and a half. One night we did ask them to speed it up because we had a show to get to at a certain time, and they were amazing, and they got us our food out right away. So if it is too slow for you, you could always ask them to speed up a little bit. Nicely, of course. And that's one of the included options on Princess. If you don't know, Princess has included dining, casual dining, and specialty dining. The included dining is going to be stuff like the main dining room, International Cafe, which is 24/7, Royal Fish Marketplace, which is their buffet, things like that. Their casual dining is going to be more of an upscale 3-course meal. It's a little step above there. You can have it a la carte, or if you had a package like me, it could be included as well. This includes things like the sushi bar and Alfredo's pizza, which while I'm talking about pizza, there is complimentary pizza on Princess Cruises by the slice, and is just identical to what Carnival has on their ship. They're owned by the same company, so it makes sense that their included pizza is exactly the same. I think it's the same recipe, looks exactly the same, tastes like the same, the exactly same menu. But Alfredo's pizza is a step above that. I love Carnival's included pizza. But Alfredo's pizza on Princess, just so much better. You can pay this for its a la carte, or it could be included in the package. But you could make this a 3-course meal if you wanted, or you could just have the pizza. And this pizza is going to have more exotic ingredients like truffle. Or you could have a classic pizza. But these are made for better ingredients, so you can actually taste the difference. So I try to eat there as much as possible. And then you have the specialty dining. And out of all the restaurants that have specialty dining, Margaritaville, Carnival, I guess you could think about whether to include Virgin or not because they technically don't have any specialty dining. But these have my favorite restaurants at sea. Like the Italian restaurant. The Italian restaurant on Princess beat the Italian restaurant on Virgin Voyages. Hands down. All the Virgin Voyages, again, this includes no extra charge. Whereas Princess, it is. So, I mean, it's not really the apple to apples. But again, it's a slow service. You plan to be there for like 2 hours. But it was very romantic. I loved it. The food was delicious. I can't even explain how good this stuff was. The video just does not do this justice. Also tried the Crown Grill. And this is about as fancy as it gets. This is their steakhouse. On top of having the best bread on the ship, which is like a cheesy bread, they had a large collection of wines there as well. Great steaks, and I had lamb chops. And this is the best lamb chops I've ever had. I'm comparing this to any restaurant I've ever had. The best lamb chops. And if you truly want to customize it, you can choose what kind of salt to put on there. Yes, I said what kind of salt. Himalayan salt, some charcoal salt, some other kind of salts. And a bunch of different sauces. I was very much impressed with both of these restaurants, and I would definitely try them again multiple times if I go back on Princess. And the desserts, the gelato area was delicious as well. They have a lot of options over there. Some over-the-top desserts as well. They're delicious, but again, a little showy. But my favorite was the amaretto gelato. It's basically some gelato with a shot of amaretto in it, which made it just that much more delicious. And if you're somebody who either maxes out their alcohol package or try to make it stretch longer, these don't count against your alcoholic drink count. I tested it out. I confirmed that. So whether you're trying to go over your max or trying to save your vouchers for later on the ship, this is the place you hit up to get a head start on it. The bars on this ship were plentiful. They were all over the place. Very convenient hours for the most part. And experienced bartenders to where they were quick. They may have been busy, but they were quick. So if there's a long line, it typically didn't last very long. Only once or twice a long line stayed long for a while. They clear them out and move you along quickly. Princess also has the best rooms that I've ever been in. I was in an interior room and it was designed very well. The best layout I've ever seen. One, they had a 110 outlet as well as a 220. And they had several USB ports at the lamps, which made that very convenient. They had a motion sensor light in the cabin, so if you wake up middle of the night, try to walk to the bathroom, you're not walking in the dark, that it will sense your motion, it will turn on the dim light for you to be able to see where you go. This was right by the door of the bathroom as well as underneath the nightstands. So that was convenient. However, if a pillow drops on the floor or if you're someone who sleeps with their foot over the bed, that may cause the light to turn on in the middle of the night. Again, it's not too bright. If you're someone who likes it pitch dark like me, it can be slightly annoying. But that was easily outweighed by the fact that this room had the most storage I've seen of any in cruise. But that was basically no issue at all. Where this room really shined was in this storage place. It had tons of storage, more than I've seen on any cruise line so far. And the level of service that the staff gives you, again, above and beyond what I've seen so far. In one day, my room was cleaned like 4 times. I didn't ask for it, it just happened. That level of service is amazing. It reminded me of how the staff treated me at the Ritz-Carlton. So I mean, they do a very good job at that. By far, the best room staff I've ever seen at any place I stayed at. Maybe thinking, who is this cruise line for? Well, again, it's not for everybody. Will I go again? Yes, I will. When am I going to the Princess Cruise? Well, I'm not sure. I have other cruise lines I want to try out first. And personally, it's not my favorite cruise line because I want more of a party experience, which that's not Princess Cruises. This is for someone who wants a very relaxing cruise, high quality shows, great game shows, a very fun cruise, but also a very relaxing cruise as well, and more of a cultural experience. There's a lot of people from all around the world on this ship. One person on the ship was complaining that there was too many foreigners on here with European accents, but to me, that's part of the experience. You got to meet new people from all around the world. I also did like the fact that there is different experiences you can have aboard, different packages. The Princess Standard, Princess Plus, and Princess Premier, which each have a different level of all-inclusivity with it, or you can pay for anything on the ship a la carte. I have more details on how that works in another one of my videos. I'll leave a link to that at the end. But I hope this video helped you decide whether the Princess is right for you, or maybe you think of a different cruise line. I also have reviews on Carnival, Margaritaville, and Virgin Voyages if you're interested on those 3 lines. So go ahead and check out some of those review videos next.